All right,
Real pleasure.
Let's bring in now investigative journalist and co-host of the Weaponized podcast, Jeremy Corbell. Jeremy obtained and released the videos that put into motion the first congressional hearings on UFOs in more than 50 years. Those happened just last year in 2022. Jeremy, you helped organize some of the witnesses for this hearing next week. You say it will be historic. Why?
Yeah, well, absolutely. It's going to be historic because there's never been a hearing like this from firsthand direct eyewitnesses, as well as, people that have been involved with uncovering the obfuscation that's occurred. So hearing from people directly who have engaged UFOs for the United States military is unlike anything we've had before. Before, it was bureaucratic suits who are obfuscating for their own reasons. This is different. This is historic.
And we also just heard Representative Burchett say that he had seen much better quality video of these UAPs, or he calls them UFOs, and that they would be releasing that. That would be a first.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be releasing that, but that's the whole point of this, is that people need to trust the system to come forward. We know now that everything we've been seeing that's been reported to journalists like me, that this is accurate, this is correct. So now we're trying to pry that open to the American public, and I'm really happy that we got this far with these hearings. It was hard to convince my friends who are speaking to do this. Some of them, it was very difficult, but they understand the importance now.
We just heard Ross talking about some of the pushback that these congressional leaders are getting. We also heard that congressional leaders in this hearing said today that they've been stonewalled by the military when they asked for details on UAPs. Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. I've been up against this for many years. As you know, these witnesses, 2 out of 3 you have coming up, they came to me first. So I've heard about this. I've heard about, how things have gone with stonewalling and obfuscation and just straight out lies. It is time to crack open the books so we can look at this. Imagine if we don't. If we don't, we have a problem of strategic surprise. We have an issue where we don't know what's flying in our skies. For example, the Congress people have not been able to have access yet to the footage of the shoot downs over Alaska and over Canada. This is a problem of information flow. That's why people come to journalists like me rather than through proper channels that they do not trust. More whistleblowers are coming forward to me every day, and I'm trying to pass them forward as they should be.
They're not only alleging that they're being stonewalled by the military, congressional leaders are saying they're getting a lot of pushback on holding this hearing. Representative Burchett said there are a lot of people who don't want this to come to light. And we're not just talking about the people who still think it's silly and ridiculous to talk about UFOs. This sounds like he's alleging other people who are really, really saying, do not do this.
Yeah, well, you can imagine why. The reason is because a lot of these technologies have been siphoned over to aerospace companies as well as contractors for our DoD, and this is something that absolutely can change the way that we organize our technology. So the implications are so vast, you can understand why there has been secrecy in the name of national security up to date, but the cat's out of the bag. There's nothing that can happen now. All we need to do is find out what is in our skies, who made them, where are they from? The simple questions.
Just the simple, little ones. One more question. In the Senate, there's a bipartisan push to declassify UFO records. Do you think we're seeing a culture change here on this? It's gone from being something that everybody jokes and laughs about to something people are now taking very seriously?
I'm sure you are very aware because of your reporting on this, you guys being the first to bring out David Grush, who by the way, did come to me early on. Here's the deal. You've seen it yourself. This is a sea change. We are now looking straight forward at what's going on. Now we have to push for it. Nothing's going to be given. Whatever this UFO thing is, whatever it represents to humanity, we are inches away from starting to understand a greater concept of what it means to be human, no matter where they're from. Adversarial technology would be a huge leap. From somewhere else, even weirder.
All right, Jeremy Corbell, I imagine you are going to be very, very interested in these hearings next week.
I will be there. Yeah, I will be right there.
Okay.
I will be submitting something onto the congressional record, in fact. I can tell you that much.
Perfect. Looking forward to hearing more about it. Thanks so much, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.